From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a tropical weather update.
Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center on this Friday afternoon of September 12th, 2025 with the afternoon edition of your tropical weather update. We are continuing to watch the potential for the tropical wave rolling off the coast of Africa to get out into the central Atlantic and maybe start development as we head into next week. National Hurricane Center upping the probability of this becoming the next tropical system up to 40% as of the afternoon update. That brings it up to code orange or a medium risk. I will say that, yes, while they were doing that, there was pretty decent model support the past 24 hours. The model runs today have backed off. The GFS and the Euro and other models doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but it kind of reminds me of how the model started behaving with the system last week, and conditions haven't improved too much in terms of the dry air going away and not being a problem, wind shear and such. So it's still not a guarantee that this next wave will go ahead and develop into the next tropical system. It is looking a little more banded and organized, even though there's not a whole lot of convection to it. The upper level flow near it, a little more organized looking, and it does look to have some kind of mid-level low pressure center already. So the early stages of this trying to go, yeah, it's looking favorable in that sense. And then as it gets a little farther west, if it holds some convection long enough, could develop a low-level circulation and get going. However, the wave that we were watching last week that we were pretty sure that was going to become Tropical Storm Gabrielle, that had up to a 90% chance of development, it started out like this early on, and then it got out into this dry air in the central Atlantic, and it poofed. It evaporated in that dry air. So a lot of things we'll have to watch in the coming days. There is definitely the potential for this to develop. However, it's not a guarantee. Even if it was to develop, it's way far out there. You see, this is the west coast of Africa here. It's out in the far eastern Atlantic right now. So we're not talking about this being any type of threat to the United States for well more than a week, even if it ever becomes a threat at all to the United States. And that's a very low probability, if any, as we look at it currently is how things stand, because also these frontal systems that keep coming into the eastern United States, they're still setting up that roadblock for systems to approach the United States. So we'll be watching things carefully, but not too concerned about this as of the current time. We still have frontal thunderstorm action in the western Atlantic down into the southeast Gulf, and then our upper level low here over the western Atlantic. This is going to be providing wind shear out into the central part of the Atlantic as it spins around, and that is going to be unfavorable as the approaching tropical wave starts interacting with that as well. So none of this expected to develop into tropical activity, and some of these features out here could act as inhibiting factors for that tropical wave that we're watching as we head into next week. The next name on the list, whether it is that wave or it's the next one later down the line, is Gabrielle, and then Umberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo. You get the idea. We'll see how far we work down the list. We are just past the climatological peak of the National Hurricane Center, but we're not down here. We're still up here close to the mountaintop. We're September 12th today, so we're 2 days past the peak. Climatologically, it is still pretty active all the way through mid-October before things gradually ramp down as we head into November, and then we end the hurricane season coming up at the end of November. So even though it's been quiet around here, we have a long way to go, and we are seeing signs in the global wind circulation with the MJO that things may start to get a little more favorable as we head into the last week or two of September and then into the first half of October. And we do often see a secondary peak as we head into that period of time. So we'll be watching carefully. We'll watch that wave out in the eastern Atlantic, and we'll watch things. But right now, no imminent threats to the lower 48 United States, and I don't expect any direct threats to the United States for at least the next 5 to 7 days. We'll watch past that to see if anything starts to approach. Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Chase Wilson will be here through the weekend with your tropical weather updates. His next tropical update will come tomorrow, Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Time.